dog?
It's the neighbor's dog. Will my insurance cover this?
Not looking good, I'm afraid.
Budget Direct would have provided you with temporary accommodation for up to a year while they repaired it.
Good dog.
What is up, everybody? I am Chris Knight. This
God, that was sudden.
Yeah, I know. It's got a quick ending. But hey, that's all right. I'm Chris Knight. This is Chaos Central's The Andor Roundtable for Chapter 3 on Season 2. Just in case you don't know where you're at. Many of us have that issue. Many of us. Me especially. But I gotta say, I like our little cold opens we've been doing. I think those are cute. Very nice.
I observe many Star Wars memes on the interwebs, so I'm always happy to fire them in your direction. It's been a while since I've done this. I have to remember to like point in the opposite direction than I imagine. Can I just make one quick comment? That Cyril character had fucking huge hands. Did you see how big his hands were? He had big hands.
I think he was wearing hand prosthetics.
I don't think so. I think he just had really big hands.
His hands are big because he wanted to devour that cereal, I guess.
I just didn't notice it till he was trying to kill Deirdre or Dedra or whatever her name was.
You mean Dead Woman?
Andor.
Yeah.
She's not dead yet.
She's kind of like always a little bit dead.
Do you like this down
she's
here?
She's dead inside.
It says the cereal is dead. I mean, Cyril.
No, his name is Cereal, Chris.
That's why I said the cereal is dead. But those people who don't understand the implications of this, I put his name that they fake call him.
Okay.
You know, yeah. It's fake news. All right, what's going on, everybody? Again, Andor Season 2, Chapter 3, 3 episodes. We're going to talk about those today. Before we do that, let's talk to the people we have on the panel. And we'll start right here to my... Is this left or right? This is technically right.
It doesn't matter because, you know, it could be either like your personal right or I could be to the left of you if we're staring at you. But you're actually... I'm like, if I'm looking at the screen, I'm to your right.
I'm facing east. So technically you are to my left because you're north of me.
But I'm...
Actually, you're kind of...
What direction am I facing?
You're kind of back
I think
here.
I'm facing south.
You're facing south. But see, I'm facing this way. You're technically facing that way to me, where I'm at. This is my south here.
Okay.
So you're facing that way.
So my east is
you're
that
back.
way.
You're back here to me.
My east is that way. So that doesn't make any sense because my east is over there.
Because we got flipped cameras, and then we're trying to actually put actual directions into
so
it.
If I face east, no, is that east? No, that's east. Yeah, no, this is east. God, I'm getting confused now. So this is east. So now if I like a little bit south and east, then I'm facing you.
Yes.
But now I'm exactly not facing you with regards to my computer screen. Okay, let's stop. Let's just stop because we're gonna drive positive in Austin. Look, we already lost Shifty because of our nonsense. He just like fuck this shit I met.
What? What'd you say? What? Wait, really?
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
You know it. I've got to do at least a little bit. I gotta do a little bit of a Sith Lord.
I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck.
Dude, did I not mention I'm only here for an hour?
Okay. All right, guys.
1 hour
Here we
is
go.
up, and I'm just
Go ahead.
going.
Tell them, everybody. Tell them about yourself.
Obviously,
There you
I'm
go.
ridiculous.
Well, yeah, that's
it. That's all I need to tell you
All right,
guys.
great. Austin,
Okay.
tell everybody about yourself.
Well, that cold open went on a little too long for my taste. Since it went on too long, to give a brief introduction to myself. Hi, I'm the Offsater. Check my channel out. There you go. That's it.
Do that. Do it. Every one of you, do it. Positive. Go ahead.
Hello, Positive Candor here. Check my channel out too. What the hell?
And
Hopefully will be back soon.
and Shifty will be back. I'm sure he will be. And if you just want to know how this works, he's Shifty. That's exactly what he would tell you.
Right.
So,
Okay.
all right, guys. Here's how it works. Of course, we're going to go over our overall thoughts of all 3 episodes together. We're going to then talk about our likes and then our dislikes, and then possible outcomes of what's going to happen in the last chapter of this season, or the last season, and our grades. That's how we do it. So let's just start right now. Let's start with our overall thoughts. Austinator.
All right. Does anybody want to take bets on if I liked it or not?
I'm guessing you hated it slightly less than usual.
That's a good guess. It's a good guess. Chris, do you have any predictions of what I thought of it?
She thinks she liked it, or she thinks she should have liked it. I was like, I don't know. Cyril's dead, so there's a plus, right?
Oh, that's a huge plus.
And his mom was crying. How could you not like it a little bit more
On
than
Mother's
usual?
Day. Think about the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day to everybody who's a mother. Just so you know.
You know, I thought the implication of that, and I thought that was actually really funny. Look, I'll be honest. The episode 7, I'm like, man, this kind of sucks. Like, I'm not gonna lie, we're not starting great. Episode 8, when everyone died, I was like, oh my god, actually, that actually was okay. Actually, I liked it. Oh my god, what the hell happened? What is going on? And then episode 9 happened, and I'm like, okay, like it was okay. It was fine. So I guess you could say with this batch of episodes, I kind of liked it.
You hated it less than usual.
Exactly. I hated it less than usual.
Yeah,
So I'll give them a little golf clap for a little
death for you to not like it a little smidge.
Exactly. There was too much depressing stuff.
Plenty more death to come.
Exactly. Too much death, and it was very depressing, which made me kind of like it. So, you know what? Good job, guys. You did one thing right. Sadly, it took you about 7-8 episodes to get there, but hey, better late than never, I guess. There you go. That's my thoughts. It was all right. I didn't hate it. It was fine. I hated it less than usual this week. There you go.
Maybe it would have helped if you'd huffed some of those like fumes like Willem did.
Exactly. You know what? That's a good point.
That's where you're like falling short.
Try it next week.
Not enough fumes huffing.
Yeah, maybe I just need to take space meth or something.
There you go.
All right. Oh, he left again. Oh my god. I don't even have time to react to him being here. Oh, well. All right, pause.
I think his stuff was like not working.
Okay, yeah, agree with Oscillator. 7 was a big snoozer. I mean, a huge, mega snoozer. But I guess that'll be in my dislikes. Episode 8, yeah, got the Gorman massacre, which was pretty gory. You see where I went there? Gore massacre, pretty gory. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. And then we had episode 9, which was the retconned rebel speech by Mon Mothma. So there you go. That's my thoughts.
Very good. And Dandelion.
Me. I actually quite liked it. I thought it was good. I found the tension was pretty palpable, and it built up nicely. And overall, quite enjoyed it. I don't have more to say. That's my overall is good.
Okay,
Liked it.
Very good. I just was going to push this out on Twitter a little bit, and I'm looking here, and this guy or somebody is doing all these like remakes of scenes from movies with little babies. So he put like a Monty Python one up. Oh,
I don't like things where they use little babies. That's just creepy.
These
and
are
weird.
no. These are funny. They're funny. I'll send you one and let you decide. Maybe. All right.
I don't want to see that. Tell us what you
No.
thought overall.
Overall, I
I'll be right back.
liked all this stuff. Again, I'm a big fan of this series. And Austinator's gonna hate every minute of me sitting here sucking on its tea. Anyways, yeah, I liked it a lot. So, yeah. So let's go with likes, and let's start with Dandelion. Dandelion, tell us some of your likes, please.
Some of my likes. I liked the first episode. I really liked the sense of tension. Like you could feel, especially on Gore, that it was like you could feel like the tension building between the people and the Imperials and stuff. I liked that. I really liked the ending of the Cyril arc. I thought it was kind of like there was so much stuff going on with that, because he kind of like realized he was being played, which we figured he'd realize he was being played, and then he goes out almost like he wants to try and redeem himself. And then he sees Andor, and it's like there were outside agitators. I was right all along, but it was kind of, weird because Andor was the one character who wasn't an outside agitator in this situation. And then just when he's devoted so much of his energy into finding Andor, and Andor doesn't even know who he is. So it's like he's like Andor's been so much to him, and then he is like nothing to Andor. And then not only that, but just the "who are you" line, and it's just sort of like he doesn't. Not only does Andor not know who he is, it's like he doesn't know who he is. But then he doesn't even get any redemption because he instantly gets shot, which is exactly what I kind of figured they'd end up doing with him. But it's kind of like I just liked all the different layers of things going on with that ending and the whole thing. It was just I just liked all that complicated nonsense, but it was so simple. But I mean, I know people were maybe upset with the whole interplay between him and Dedra, but I found that seemed very much in character for both of them. And I liked the way that they kind of they've both been sort of so emotionless, but that they were so emotional. It's like all their suppressed emotions were leaking out around the edges in these episodes. So, I thought that was pretty good. The whole Mon Mothma thing was good, but I'm not as committed to her storyline, though I know she's an important character, but I still like that.
Is that telling that you aren't as interested in her storyline, even though she's one of the few that gets out of this alive?
No, I know. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm just
asking.
I don't know. Maybe because we know her ending, we know she's not going to die yet anyway. So it seems less, I don't know. I guess I'm less vested in the things that go on with her because we know what happens to her. I mean, we know what happens to most of the characters, but still not entirely. That makes sense.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't want to go on and on, so I'll leave it at that for the moment. I like the music was kind of good, except for the song they sang on Gore was kind of meh, whatever. wasn't lean Meuse enough. It didn't have enough, like, it was like one of those like really boring national anthems.
It was missing Hugh Jackman, wasn't it?
I don't like Hugh Jackman, but I don't know.
Wasn't he in the movie version of?
I think they did have him in there, but I don't know. I've seen better versions of lean Meuse than that. I mean, I've actually seen it live and stuff.
Yes.
And watched it on the intro. Watched videos of people singing it and stuff. So I think it required a little more passion. But anyway, that would be a dislike, but it's not a real dislike. So anyway, I will let the next person make their comment.
Okay, very good. Then let's just go down here before he pops off again. Shifty, tell everybody about yourself. You're going to say, hey, I'm Shifty. I already said it for you, so you don't need to say it again if that's what you're going to say. And why don't you tell us about your overall thoughts and then your likes?
I think I'm Shifty. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay,
my mic wasn't working. Yeah, that's weird. Hey, I like this episode. It was great. It was good season 1. Let's see. I think it's probably some of the best Star Wars we've had since Empire. I wish it hadn't took half a season to get here, though. Like I said, the last couple of weeks, the first couple chapters were really slow. Let's see. Last week, Dandy, she mentioned how she felt we were missing a lot between chapters every time they jumped a year. I think that was the most notable this time. It felt like we missed a lot with them setting up the Yavin base and everything. That was really weird. Maybe they'll do a comic book or something so they can fill us in, because it seems like a lot happened. And our predictions, what everybody thought would happen for Woolman, that didn't pan out at all. It's like they cut something out, or something happened during that year we lost, because we thought he was going to get, become a fanatic or something, and he was, going to get blown up or working with Saul or something. But it seems like he's kind of reverted, or I don't know. It's weird if they go back to him being the character he was in the second chapter after this third chapter. It doesn't really mesh up well storyline wise, how it progressed.
He definitely seemed to have his shit together.
Yeah. Let's see.
We're just started. You don't have to go crazy.
Oh, well, I mean, you do likes too?
You're on likes. Yeah, because
okay.
That's where we're at. Dandelion's already done with her likes, but you can go next. So go ahead.
Okay. Let's see. I noticed that the Ferrix anvil, they played it every time that they show the year. I hadn't noticed that in previous chapters. I thought that was really cool, where they sound the gong. The Yavin base, seeing that was cool. The Force healer, that was neat that they kind of worked some of the Force in, and it gives it more legitimacy of them having Force healers in the universe now, in something that's actually good, not like Rise of Skywalker. The red-haired captain, that guy from Rogue One, he was in here this chapter. That was cool. He looks like if you took Michael Fassbender and Bryan Cranston and stuck them in a blender. That's who that guy looks like. The massacre, man, that was a tense scene. That may be the tensest scene we've ever had in anything of Star Wars. That was really good. Dedra's breakdown after that was really a really good scene. And even though I'm down on them taking out my boy Cyril, I'm glad that the guy from the Strain did it. But I think that was just so much of a poetic moment, to where his whole world's crashing down. Everything led up to that, to where he's realizing that everything he worked for was a lie. He had been played, and then at that exact moment, the guy that led to all of that is right across from him, and then he just goes after him, and that was great. And then it ends with him Cass being like, "Who are you? Who are you? I don't even know you." And man, I wish it's kind of like Littlefinger on Game of Thrones. He was one of my favorite characters, and I wish he also had a better exit. But I can understand.
Want him to have a heroic ending, but in a way, you understand they couldn't have a heroic ending.
Yeah, I don't. Not so much a heroic ending. I wish he had more of a, I don't know, a different, better ending. But I understand the ending they gave him. It was still good, but I kind of want a little bit more. But yeah, he was great. Also, heartbreaking moment at the end of the episode where his mom's watching the news. That man.
Does she know yet?
Oh, she I think she feels it. A lot of times, you know, a mother feels when something like that happens. Let's see. I got a lot of notes right here. Let's see. Yeah, I already mentioned that. Yeah, I think I covered everything here.
Okay, those are all your likes for now.
Yeah, if I think of anything, I'll mention in the next segment. So.
All right. Up next, let's go to Positive. Positive, tell us your likes, please. I want to make sure we give plenty of time to Austinator because he might have some this week.
Okay. He might. But episode 8, the massacre scene, probably, one of the best, I guess, choreographed, whatever, battle scenes on land. Anyway, that we've seen in a while, Star Wars or otherwise. And it all started because you had a bunch of inexperienced Imperial troops out there, and one guy shoots, and then all hell breaks loose. And meanwhile, the stormtroopers were just there to kind of keep everybody in place, basically, so that they could not readily escape until basically all the mayhem had been pretty much over with. And then the KX droids, as they were calling them in this, going out into the square and then just backhanding that lady, and she dies soon as she hits the ground, or maybe before she hit the ground, I guess. And then at the end, obviously, them getting running the big tractor into K, who will eventually become K2SO. Another great scene. The whole setup we've seen. Never mind. I'll put that in my dislikes. The mayhem. Cyril finally. I mean, you had first they showed the scene of them passing. Basically, Andor's going one way, Cyril's coming down the steps, Andor's going up the steps. They're about 3 feet from each other, but they don't see each other. If that was the only time that they would have gotten close, I would have said, yeah, that's plot armor galore. But at least, he finally got his man, Cyril did, and, instead of shooting and then talking, he talked and then got shot. So that's pretty much it.
Okay, really quick sidebar here. Let's talk about that for a second. He doesn't shoot. He stops and he's thinking, I'm not going to kill
He lowers his weapon.
Yeah, he's lowering the weapon. We don't hear him say anything. Andor says, who are you? What is Cyril stopping for? Why doesn't he shoot him? What's your thoughts? Really quick, Dandelion.
I already said. He's thinking, oh my God, this person who's I've been obsessed with doesn't even know who I am. And B, I don't know who I am.
Okay. All right.
Like, what have I been doing all this time? Like, have I been on the wrong side?
Oh, okay. Austinator, what do you think he's thinking right then?
Existential crisis, probably. He was probably also thinking, oh man, I didn't have my bowl of cereal today. So.
I bet you he did.
Positive.
Oh, who knows?
He's probably thinking, man, I picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue, right?
I knew I should have ate one of those spiders before I left.
Yeah, I do. I should have had, gotten into my spider suit before, but oh well, things happen.
Shifty, what do you think he's thinking right then?
Exactly what Dandy said. His whole world had just crashed down, and he didn't know, like, everything he had worked for, it was just for nothing. And like the guy he had devoted his whole career towards, didn't know who he was. It was just it was poetic. All right, that was such a great moment. Yeah, just good stuff.
Okay, all right, very good. I'm sorry. Positive. Continue on your likes.
You didn't answer the question.
Me.
Yeah. What do you think?
Really quick. Me. Honestly, I think right then, kind of what Dandelion said. He's stopping right then, and he realizes because of what he just talked to Deidre about how, what are you using me for? All this stuff. He now is realizing maybe that he and Andor are the same type of person, just from two different perspectives. They're coming from two different sides. Andor was kind of brought up on the rebellion side, and Cyril's been brought up on the Imperial side, and here they are at this moment in time, and they're both in the same place. Both of them could be dead. Both of them could be dying right at that moment, and he's realizing, wait, the guy that has obsessed my whole, like you said, my whole time, is no different than I am. And I think that's the moment he starts putting it down and says, I wouldn't kill myself. And then he gets killed. And it's him over Andor because Andor has to live. That's the only difference. Anyways, that's my thought. Go ahead. Positive. Likes. Continue with it, please.
Okay, yeah. Continuing on my likes, I'll go to episode 9. Where you had obviously the main like is the Mothma speech, obviously. Just laying it all out there that Emperor Palpatine is the bad guy. Just for the whole galactic community, whatever, to hear. Of course, later on, after she cuts and runs with Andor, obviously they'll say, oh yeah, she probably didn't mean any of that stuff or whatnot. They could always explain it away in their imperial way or whatnot. Episode 9, and then of course at the very end of episode 9 we get K2SO being awakened like Frankenstein's monster. I think someone compared it to, he's tied to the table, tied down like Frankenstein's monster. He has that jerkiness of Frankenstein's monster, and then he says, as Cassian's pointing the gun at him, would he kindly, I think, point that somewhere else or something to that effect. I forget what he says exactly, but some kind of line like that. That episode 9, had a lot of rebellion moments in it. In episode 9, as long as towards the end of episode 8, when the lady is on the radio, explaining the Gorman point of view and everything to anybody that's listening. So, those are my main likes.
Okay. And Austin.
Let's get the big positive out of the way first. The crying man is officially gone. Serial is dead. No more cereal for that guy. What a goober. Goofy goober, as I shall say. Even before he died, he was ready to cry. Which makes sense in the context of things, but he was going to cry, And I was like, oh my god, this story is finally going to come full circle. He's going to cry, and then he died. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. But hey, his mom cried, so, hey, it did come full circle. He wanted to cry, then his mom cried. So you know what? There you go. But in all seriousness, though, episode 8 as a whole might be my favorite episode of the entire show. I'm just going to be honest. I will say everything in episode 8 I think it's probably the best. The one thing I'm going to keep saying is about the show, even if I'm not a big fan of Star Wars, I will say this. The visuals are always on point. And I will say these batch of episodes probably the best it's looked in a long time. The massacre scene, my god, it was glorious. Very, very glorious. All I could think of in that scene, it's like in South Park. Oh my god, they killed the Gormans! You bastards! But I'm just like, man, but it was just like, it's what you want. It's like, this is the thing that I need. I need to inject this into my veins because it's like, it's because this is to me what I want to see is we've always known the Empire are just bad people, but just seeing the massacre firsthand, and it was just like, my god, it is what I've needed all this time. If the show had more like this, I would be more on board with everything that's going on.
No doubt that they're the bad guys.
The serial. Oh yeah, absolutely. The cereal and dead woman interaction before cereal bit the dust. I was like, oh my god, cereal's become Batman because he chokes her out a little bit.
Giant hands. Those hands were huge.
He did have very big mitts on him.
They were huge.
It was very scary. He's a very scary guy, that cereal, when he's not crying.
I think he could choke out one of those robots. Oh,
he probably could. And I this is just a little thing, but when you see the guy getting flung into the wall, he just gets flung very fast. I'm like, oh my god, that was kick ass. And then of course the robot gets run over, and I was like, oh shit, okay, that's cool. And yeah, the whole cereal and Andor thing, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Because all the time, it's like cereal thinks he's the Joker to Andor's Batman, and then Andor's like, who the hell is this jabroni? And then he dies. I was like, holy shit, that was kind of a wow. That was oh my god. I could just feel the goosebumps up in my arms just going, oh wow. Long-term storytelling, guys. Long-term storytelling always pans out. Now, episode 9, however... what I also liked about episode 8 as well is I really liked the... I did kind of at the end where you have I don't know who the woman's name is, but her screaming in the radio, please help! If anybody could help us, and while we're seeing everybody just all in disarray, I'm just like, man, perfect. So 9, Positive said Mon Mothma's speech and kind of having her basically oh yeah, everything was bad. By the way, the Emperor is the bad guy, and everyone being like, what? No, not Emperor Palpatine. No way, no how, sir. Meanwhile, everybody's looking you can't say that. Oh my god, we're gonna die here. Oh my god, what's going on? I thought that was great. And even the little interactions with the characters in the episode, I thought was really, really, really good too. The Andor and Luthen interaction, the Andor and Mon Mothma little interaction they had towards the end there, and then of course K2SO coming in and being like, "Hey, point that thing somewhere else, Buster." I thought that was kind of a funny little way to end the episode to give us a little bit of a little break from all the really dark and depressing stuff that was going on. It was a nice little break from the action there. I did like the little, like, I like how Luthen's kind of play, like, he's basically, like, he's planning people everywhere, and then, like, Mon Mothma's and Luthen's little interaction where Mon Mothma's like, what the hell, I can't trust anybody, and then Luthen's like, no, you gotta trust me. It's, because again, it really goes to show, like, with this rebellion, it's almost like, you got those people that are willing to sacrifice pretty much anything and everyone, almost, to get to their end goals, which kind of gives the Empire and the Rebellion almost like kind of like they're the same, but they got different goals, which I thought was a very nice little. It was very interesting because Luthen almost doesn't seem very fazed by this Gorman stuff. Like he's just like, yeah, it was a tragedy, but it had to happen almost. Like everybody else, like Andor's like, oh, dude, I'm done. Like this is awful. Like this is gone too far. And then you got like Luthen going, no, we've come this far. Are you really gonna back out now? Like I like that stuff. I would just say as a whole, 8 and 9 were probably surprising strong storytelling in the show. But kind of like Shifty said, it's kind of a shame that it took almost most of the season to kind of get up to this point. I mean, I get it's a slow burn, but I really wish we could have gotten a little bit more along the way, I guess.
Like make the season shorter and get to shit faster?
Yeah.
They were really going for the slow build.
Well, no,
Yeah.
actually, they were going to do 5 seasons, and they were forced to cut it down to 2, so they had to actually cram a lot into this year.
Yeah.
I came up with 2 more likes. The first one, Austin, when he was talking about Cyril getting killed and his mother breaking down later, immediately Elvis Presley popped into my mind, and his mother cried. Yeah. Yeah. Also, you know what? Like the biggest like of all, yeah. And that's a good. Yeah. Hey, check it out. I just thought about it. You know who is the biggest hero in all of Star Wars? Who won it all for the rebels? It was Cyril. If Cyril had not listened to his boss, right, the Empire would have won. If because he said, don't pursue that investigation on Cassian or whoever killed that dude. He said, don't do that. And what he did, and the rebels win because of him. Because it all snowballs from him going after Cassian. So he is the inadvertent hero of the galaxy.
I would say it goes back to things like, I don't know, Anakin.
Well, also Andor had already stolen that object that he was trying to get to Luthen, right? Him being pursued by Cyril was just kind of being convenient.
He would have still. It's like Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. He doesn't really need to be there because it would have happened anyways.
Hey man. Let Cyril have his moment here. Okay. The dude died, man.
It's true. He wasn't really heroic.
Many Bothans died also. Do we even talk about
Hey, listen. Hey, check that out, man. Look, this show is so good. They need to let Tony Gilroy do a show for Manny Bothan. You know Manny Bothan, the guy that stole the second Death Star plans. It's the Cassian Andor. Manny Bothan. Do a show about him.
Oh my word! And okay, you got your 2 likes out.
I do have one more like. I forgot to mention it.
Go right ahead, Austinator. Oh my word! This is
a lot of likes. This is a lot of liking from you, Austinator.
I know. It trust me, this is not going to happen again. Trust me. So everybody, please record this because this might be the last time. This will be the first and the last time. I'll be very positive.
More. Go ahead.
I think somebody brought it up, but like seeing Serial and that one old dude kind of get into it as like kind of the whole protest / massacres going on is him basically pulling him aside, be like, dude, who the hell do you think you are bringing this atrocity here? And he's just like, I don't know. Like I'm like almost like. He's almost bewildered, almost like he's like, I never meant for this to happen, and almost kind of feel like, wow, I've been played by everybody, and kind of seeing that start of that crush and defeat. It was like, it was like, this is probably the most interesting that guy has ever been in this show. Like,
No.
he is the most like that. And I think Shifty brought up Dead Woman's little breakdown as after everything that's happened. That was a very, very good scene. That said, those are my other likes.
Okay. All right, my likes. Again, this whole from different point of view things. So we finally call the Emperor bad. And then what you get to see as soon as she's being whisked away, they start talking about. So I can't remember the captain's name or whatever, the one that's in Rogue One that tells Andor this is, you can't leave whenever you want, and he says I do what I want or whatever, and he says, well, soon you're gonna have to listen and not do this. What you find out is that the rebels are going to do the same thing that the Empire does, which is create a narrative, because they say we need Mon Mothma to speak because this is important for you. So basically, they're already touting her as the antagonist to the Empire. So she is now going to say things that they want her to say. You see this in things like in the Hunger Game movies, what they did in there. You see it in the Insurgent and all that, Divergent, all those. These people get made into something they didn't even intend to be. She doesn't want to be the voice and the face of the rebellion. She just wants justice for people. She wants things to be free again and stuff. But she doesn't want to be the face. And now she's been thrust into it. So when Andor says, welcome to the rebellion, she's still sitting there like, what in the world are you talking about? She doesn't even realize everything she's been working for up until that point, all of a sudden has been thrown at her of what she was doing, and she didn't even really know. She didn't know what Luthen was preparing. She didn't know all this stuff was going behind her because she was still in this world of, I'm doing things the right way. I'm a senator. I'm going to go into the Senate. I'm going to try to argue my points there and do things the way we've always done them. And now all of a sudden she has become this thing that she never realized. And it's telling. I like that. And she is taken aback from it. And then when they separate her from Andor, they tell Andor, hey, we got her. We're going to take her because now she's this holier than thou person now. She is their object to use to spread their message, which is no different than what the Empire does, which is they narrate and show what they want people to see so people stay on their side. So now that's what she's become. I like that. Again, this political game showing you that they're both pretty much the same type of thing. It's for different reasons. Much like Austinator said, what they're doing here is the rebellion, or maybe it was positive. One of you guys mentioned the fact that the rebellion wants you to selflessly give everything. The Empire is willing to selflessly take everything from you, but they expect you to do that. So they both have many similar qualities. But when you say no to the rebellion, they look at you and go like, why not? Don't you want this? Isn't this what you've been fighting for? And the Empire is well, fine, we'll take it anyways. But they're both, again, that different point of view, but they're very similar in a lot of ways. That gray line is there. I really like that about this series. Really do. Definitely the Gorman Massacre. I mean, very interesting how they did it. And those people are stupid. I'm just going to say it because anytime that they occupy an area and then all of a sudden, for no reason whatsoever, they say, hey, let's back off. Dude, you're being played. You know it. That's okay. I thought that the kid, Shifty, what's the kid's name?
Willem.
Thank you. William. So he's going to find his girlfriend, and you hear her on the mic. I could have swore I heard it like that place got blown up. So maybe it was an explosion somewhere else because she obviously lives. I do think it's that we were like I think Shifty said we were so wrong about Willem. There he is. But yes, it's almost like it was watching Last Jedi and then going and watching Rise of Skywalker, where Poe's character changes back to what he was again, and it's like so that total reversal of character. I figured he was going to stay with Saw, but he doesn't. He's now out somewhere else. So it's just really
Yeah, it felt like we were missing something, a lot of something there.
yeah. So
Are you sure you're not heading into your dislikes?
I'm not. I'm just saying with Willem, I was very interested that he survived. I didn't think he would. But I don't mind how they did that. I really do like the whole 9th episode of this. The Mon Mothma, the way they get away, all that. I like Andor has his ship now. Andor had his ship this whole chapter. That was interesting. They've introduced his little cargo troop carrier ship. That was really nice to see that. So we're starting to, you can see we're starting to get where we're supposed to be at. So anyways, dislikes. Let's start with positive. Go to dislikes, please.
Well, first one is Bix conveniently cutting and running.
Yeah.
So she didn't die. I had a feeling, okay, she's either dying or she's leaving somehow. I was expecting her to die, and who knows, maybe she did. But still, just leaving and doing a goofy recording for Andor, explaining why. No, and all because he was going to get out. He specifically said to her, "I'm going to get out," and then she said, "No, I can't have that on my conscience of you getting out because of me." So
I'll tell you something. That's not either a like nor a dislike for me because I've actually had that situation happen to me. Yeah. I saw that and I was kind of flabbergasted at it, and the feelings that I had when I watched that it was actually kind of not traumatic, but just very interesting to me.
Yeah, when a woman
had that.
You have attachment.
I know where Andor's at.
But put in real life. Yeah, if a woman
you don't like it though. I got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, woman you have attachment to decides to cut and run, because whatever, and hey, I just thought it was a convenient way to get her out of the picture, maybe too convenient, basically. Well, I mean, if she shows up in the last 3 episodes and gets killed, okay, but
that's about all that's left for her now. I mean, really.
Yeah. I mean, that's a possibility. Mm-hmm. Still, that she could die. So we'll see if that whatever comes. But yeah, just leaving and kind of leaving the little note kind of deal on the laptop versus note in real life. Same difference. Kind of, you basically do it. Not even, you write your little note and split, basically. But
I don't know. I've seen an awful lot of pencils in Star Wars or paper.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like.
And then episode 7. Oh my God, what the hell was that? Sorry, but you have a kind of semi-force healer lady in there who touches his shoulder where he got a little blaster boo-boo on it and says, "Oh, it'll be all right. It'll be all right." And then she reads him and predicts basically everything that's going to happen. I think pretty much to him, saying, "Yeah, you're very important, dude." So I think that kind of scared him in a way too.
I saw that more as a message for Bix than for Andor.
Well, it's definitely for Andor. He didn't want to go to her in the first place.
Oh, I just mean in the narrative sense.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, episode 7 was like a complete, like, because all that stuff that they showed, all that side stuff that they showed, well, unless they show again in episodes 9 through or 10 or 11 or 12, we never see again when they're back on Yavin in A New Hope. Basically, all this side stuff that they were, I guess, using probably, I'm guessing temporarily, but then they specifically had Andor's hut with a circular opening, because, again, the Empire is more open. I mean, the rebellion's more open to people versus the Empire being closed off to people. Hence, you got your mainly squares and stuff like that in the Empire. Only thing round is eventually the Death Star, but besides that, but yeah, episode 7 to me was just a total waste. That's the main downfall of it. And then the Bix story, now that she's gone, hopefully for good, but she might show up again. But if she does, whatever. I almost don't care about her character anymore now, since she cut and run. That's my main dislike. Oh yeah, I was going to mention one other thing. It's convenient how at the beginning of episode 8, when Andor is assembling his gun, like you've seen in every other spy movie out there, your assassin assembling his gun. I thought, okay, I've seen this a zillion times in other movies, and he never takes a shot, almost, and then Cyril gets in the way at the very end, but he had a couple chances and he never shot her. So again, I don't know if something got lost there in translation or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, that was again, a little convenient. But everything else besides maybe the beginning of episode 8, when that actual, obviously massacre started and everything, was great. But there's just a little part building up to that I thought was a little boring. So that's it, mainly.
Okay. Let's go to Shifty. Dislikes.
Like I said, the time jump was weird. Also weird if you watch the Rebels episode that takes place right after this. And there's a little bit of whiplash with that because they handle Mothma differently than this series, kind of. So
that was, they did retcon her speech slightly too from Rebels.
Well, apparently she's going to give another speech too.
That's the speech she gives on Rebels when she's aboard there.
But they did slightly retcon it.
Yeah,
they did change it a little bit.
It's kind of like when you're watching the prequels and then go to watch the Clone Wars. There's a big difference in Anakin's character, but it is what it is. I mean, but it doesn't exactly mesh up, but whatever. Surprisingly, I don't have many dislikes at all. I mean, it was pretty much perfect all the way through. I thought,
no dislikes at all.
So you didn't?
Outside
you didn't think episode 7 was basically, to me, that was a mega filler episode to me.
No, I mean that set up that you had to have set up for the massacre. I mean, you had to get him on the planet. You had to have the stuff with Bix and all. You had to give reason for Bix to leave. You had to get a lot out of the way because I mean they jumped a year, and you had to, it was set up. You got to have your setup, and I thought it was a lot more interesting than the previous 6 episodes. So yeah, I don't have many complaints. I do wish Cyril kind of had a death later on, but I'm fine with what happened. He's still the best character on the show. Oh yeah,
Austinator,
Cyril.
Austinator, what do you have to say about that?
I think Chippy's eating too much cereal.
With blue milk.
Exactly.
Getting to him. I mean, look at that. Look at his face.
Well, I mean,
It's all shiny and stuff.
he does have a blue avatar, so you know that is a check. You know.
True. Does check out. Does. All right. Austinator dislikes.
I'm kind of with positive on this one. I think episode 7 was kind of a snooze fest. I do kind of agree with Chippy. It is set up for the massacre and everything that happens in this batch of episodes, but I do feel like, again, it's kind of the same problem as most of the show. At least this season, I felt a lot of it was just like walking around, sitting around, people talking. Like, I'm not necessarily saying that we need to have action in every episode, but you need to have something going on that makes it interesting. And also the fact that we're trying to double down on force healing, I just think is just like, really, like, we get it. I understand force healing's a thing. I feel like it was just kind of an eye rolly thing, and a lot of it's just very convenient. And then Bix leaving the way she did, I felt like was just too generic in a narrative sense, where it's like, oh, I have to leave so you can better yourself type of thing. It was just like, it made me roll my eyes, and it was just like, okay, really? Like, it was just kind of lame. Other than that, I really, honestly, unironically, I don't really have a lot to hate on this week, other than episode 7 just being blah, and doubling down on force healing, and Bix kind of leaving being a little bit of a disappointment, but that's it. That's all I got.
All right. And Dandelion.
I would have to say, yeah, I agree with the whole Bix storyline being a bit, I don't know. I can't decide if I liked it or hated it, to be honest. I mean, it was the entire reason why the Force Healer was there at all. Was nothing to do with healing Andor. It was entirely to, like, make Bix realize that she was in the way. But the thing is, I don't think that his character would necessarily just let her go like that. I mean, I don't doubt that he would be just as likely to, like, leave the rebels and find her, right? Just because she's like, oh, you're really important to the rebellion and you need to stay and you have a greater purpose and I'm just holding you back. Like, all that kind of, I mean, honestly, it would make more sense for her to get killed. And that's what motivates him to stay in the rebellion and keep fighting, right? Because otherwise he's just another character who's like, oh, I'm only here for a little bit. I'm leaving, like, right away. Because there's constantly characters in this, like, in this universe that are like, you know, there, and they're kind of get drawn in and then they're just looking for a way out. But they end up staying in and being the big, you know, the big fucking hero, as it were. You know, great big fucking story. That's a Firefly reference. That doesn't work in this at all. But anyway,
Well, it kind of does.
Yeah, I know.
because Alan Tudyk is the
this is true.
voice
There
of-
is a tie-in of sorts. Big fucking heroes. Anyway, but again, I'm not entirely sure that Andor is as easily manipulated as that, right? Like, he's always been a very, like, no, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want kind of character. Like, you know, I understand that, you know, what we're doing is important, and like, he understands his role within the rebellion, but his greater motivation is always like keeping Bix safe as well, and, you know, her being a part of his life. And I just don't see that he would just, like, go, oh, she's gone, oh well, I can't possibly find her, right? Like, she's wanted a transport, you know where the transport's going. Like, he would track her down. Like, the whole show started with him, like, on a quest to find his sister. There's no reason why he wouldn't just start a quest to find Bix, right? Like, that would be a greater motivation to him than staying and keeping on fighting. I don't know. I think that she'll probably turn up again next time and get killed. Because it seems out. I mean, I know he's not the most complex character, but that does sort of seem out of character for him to just, like, throw up hands and go, oh, well, never mind. I guess I'll just stay and do whatever the rebels tell me to do. Like, it just doesn't seem like it would seem out of character for him to do that. So like I said, like I thought it was like an interesting little arc for her to have, but I'm not sure that, you know, she was reading the room right to think that that would be what would get him to stay in the rebellion, that she was choosing the rebellion over their love or whatever. But anyway, other than that, what other things? There wasn't anything I was really like about. That was the only thing that really bothered me. That and the anthem was just like one of those really boring national anthems that, you know, when somebody wins in the Olympics and you're like, oh, that's a very boring national anthem. It felt like that. Like you know. And I still hate that they're like talking nothing like French, but French sounding, so that I have to read like subtitles. Like, they could have just done it in English with a French accent and it would have been just as effective. Like creating a fake language to force me to read subtitles. I just hate that every single time it ever happens. It's like unnecessarily complicated. Like in Watership Down, when they create rabbit language, which was completely unnecessary because they're speaking and thinking in English half the time anyway, except for their special words. I'm just saying.
You don't like Klingon?
Well, Klingon has moved beyond its thing, and they never did subtitles for Klingon. The meaning is always implied. They don't usually do subtitles for Klingon.
In the movies.
Do they?
They do, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's in a movie, so I'm not like doing something else anyway. But I mean, a lot of times, like if they do like a pretend language, the meaning is an implied thing. They don't give you subtitles and force you to read subtitles. I hate reading subtitles.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
it's just a thing.
About Bix, a little inside baseball. Back during season 1, this is way back before they even wrote season 2. The Bix actress kept on hinting that there may be a spinoff of her character. She kept hinting. So this is back before they even wrote any of this. So, so that she, you know, that's maybe why she left. She may end up surviving. She may get her show. Who knows?
I don't know if they would go there. I think this is about
nobody's going to watch that, man.
Yeah,
I
think it's
sorry.
about as far off you can. Well, okay, listen, I might too, but that's going.
And again, there was no follow up with her, like apparent, like, you know, killing that dude was like, oh, I'm all better now. So she was never that addicted to the drugs. She didn't seem to have any trouble kicking them because we have no indication that she's having any problems at all right now. Now that they killed that dude.
About the drugs, it wasn't so much that she was addicted to drugs. It was that she was trying to stay awake so she wouldn't have the dreams. That it was more about the sleep part of it than the drugs.
We understand that, Shifty. I think the thing is the way that they were implying for him and
it seemed like they were making a big deal out of it, but it didn't actually seem like that big of a deal. Like she never hurt anyone in her sleep. Like if she had like almost killed somebody while sleepwalking, or like there was never any like this was one of my dislikes from last week. Like they implied that it was a huge problem, but they never showed that it was a huge problem. Like, you know, I've never.
And now they're acting like it wasn't there.
And I was like, it wasn't there. I mean, it's the same thing with the Willem, right? Like,
I think that
what happened with that thing from him? Did he like? I mean, maybe he did exactly what.
Sniff and was like, I'm done.
He found his clarity. Maybe he found his clarity. I mean, a lot of this show was all about like picking sides and seeing your way, right? Like deciding who you are. Who are you? Deciding who you are. And a lot of characters in this decided who they were and either like died for it or moved on. And I mean, that was part of what that was.
We're still at a place where even Andor hasn't made that decision fully. And maybe that's the point. Is that
No, but a lot of people around him. But again,
exactly,
like,
that's my point. So everybody else is making this.
There's like people are finding clarity, right? Like the Force healer lady is like, oh, your path is so clear. So in a sense, he doesn't need clarity because his clarity is inherent in him, right? Even if he doesn't know it, his clarity is inherent. It's like his path is like clear, burning light heading towards whatever destiny. Whereas a lot of other people around him, they don't have that kind of clarity, right? Like, but again, I mean, even Cyril thinks he has a lot of clarity, and his crisis comes when he realizes his clarity was wrong, that he didn't have that clarity, you know. And the same with Dedra. She's like, you know, she's like, it's like her motive, like she realizes her motivations, you know, to like be successful and you know, serve the Empire are morally gray.
They just blew up in her face, though, too, because
Well,
Cyril
that's just exactly it, right? Because, you know,
and,
I mean, it doesn't seem like they're that attached, but I guess they were somewhat attached. Or maybe that was her motivation in a sense, like this will make it worth doing these evil things because, you know, we'll have a future together. And then when that gets taken away from her at exactly the same time she's making morally compromised decisions, she, you know, that's why she has her crisis as much, you know, not necessarily that she's feeling guilty about what she's doing, but that doing the things that she should feel guilty for aren't going to get her what she wanted. Right? So it's all about kind of clarity and seeing your path and, you know, that kind of thing. So maybe Willem huffing fumes gave him the clarity he was looking for.
And to the point of Bix leaving, not helping Andor, not making sense in that whole thing, I think she thinks if I leave, he's going to take every opportunity to do everything they tell him to do because he may find me in the process of doing that. He's talking about staying in a spot, giving it all up, being together, leaving right there. But she already knows how important he is because, well, the Force Healer told her, and she believes that. So therefore, she makes this decision to make sure he stays in it. And he'll continue to look for me, and there'll be purpose for him to leave and do these things. He'll find another reason to. He'll use me as the reason he's doing it, even if he is still helping them. I think it's kind of why that happened. Dislikes in this. I think the only dislike I have is the whole play, like from The Last Jedi to Rise of Skywalker. The taking a character that you were building to a certain direction. And I'm not even going to say this is an assumption. The things they showed us, the way they framed it in the episodes, framed it as, pay attention to this. This is where this guy is going to change. This is where this character is changing. This character is doing something that you're like, whoa, wait, what is this guy doing? Or what is she doing? And they point blank show these things. And then in this grouping, in this chapter, don't worry about it. Doesn't really matter. It's totally different now. And can people change in a year? Sure they can. Okay, people can. But no context to it. That's kind of maddening. Can I go with it? Fine, I can. We only saw him puff the drugs twice, and we only saw him puff the gas once. Okay, so, okay, maybe. But the whole way that I saw that interaction, the way that Saw Gerrera and him interacted in that moment, made me feel like Saul is like, I'm going to take you in, I'm going to make you into a soldier, and we're going to do things. And now he's not even with him anymore. So I was surprised to see, how did he go out to Gorman? And when did he get involved in the Gorman stuff? There's no context for how he got there and how he's been there so long enough to be in love with this girl. You have to give some context.
I don't know. I kind of get the sense he's a girl in every port kind of guy, and you know, I love you more than I love anyone.
But why would he go back though? Why would he go back at that moment?
Like, I love you more than anyone in the whole world while I'm in your port. Like, if it had been another girl in another port, he would have gone back for her.
I got more than that, but I can see your side of that too. Well, I mean, even those that have a girl in every port, kind of have the favorites too of those girls. I mean, it
Sure.
does happen. Those guys do end up getting married at some point in time, and they don't ever forget about their escapades. But there was always that girl that takes him a hold of him and says, "I'm going to make you mine." That happens. Maybe that's who she is. It's the way it kind of feels. She saves him. He says that she saves him. So
She might not be Miss Right, but she might be Miss Right now.
she could be. And Austinator just dropped off again. All the lovey-dovey talk here. Anyways,
We're getting long here on time.
yeah, I know. All right. So, really quick, Shifty. Make your point.
Okay, well, maybe in the next episode, they tell where Willman.
Wait. We're not talking about the next episode yet. That's on the next set.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
we are.
Predictions.
Yeah.
Okay, predictions.
Well,
We're on predictions.
did I say I was done? Did I say I was
Okay,
done?
no.
I'm trying to finish.
Well, go to me next.
Oh, you telling me how to run my show now?
Well, no, but it's in the
Okay,
conversation.
all right, stop. Okay, so we've given our dislikes, given our likes, all that. We're going to go to grades and final thoughts, predictions. Shifty, go ahead, since I'm just going to pick you.
No, I'll just say this, and you can go to everybody else. I think the Willman. I think what's going on is maybe because that whole that exchange between him and Cassian, where he says like, well, "Where were you? Where were you? I can't tell you." Or why don't you tell me? And he goes, maybe he did something really bad, and he don't want to tell him, and he can't tell him, and we're going to find out in the next episode that it's something bad. So but it'd take a year for him to tell him because there's a year jump. So yeah. But you could go somebody else because I ain't got my notes together. I just wanted to get that out. That's why I didn't want to do it during the this segment. I want to do it during the list.
Dandelion, grades, thoughts, and
like a
predictions.
B+, A-. This was really good. I really enjoyed it. I know that the first episode wasn't super happening, but I did like the tension that was building in it, like especially on Gorman. Just like you could feel the palpable tension. It was the music they used, or just the way the various characters. I liked that. So I'm giving it that grade. There was something else I thought. One other thing I kind of like overall is seeing all the like behind the scenes shit of the Death Star being built, like the little bits and pieces, like the guys in the prison are building parts for the Death Star, and then this planet has like an essential mineral that they need to build the Death Star. It's just all these like different little pieces coming together, but nobody knows what the whole is, right? So it's just kind of I do like that about it. To be honest, I don't have any particular predictions except for maybe Bix shows up and gets killed. Maybe Cyril's mom goes on a rampage. That'd be awesome. Uncle what's the uncle's name? She calls in a favor on Uncle Harlow.
That's it, yeah.
And get some shit goes down there. Maybe she kills Dedra. That'd be something. She blames Dedra for her son getting killed and feeds her like poisonous spiders or something. That'd be cool. Oh, poisonous blue milk. That'd be something. And then that I don't have a real prediction. I don't even know what they're going to have happen in the next 3 episodes. I know it's like the 3 episodes leading up to Rogue One, but I actually we knew the Gorman massacre was coming this time. They could almost finish it now and it would have been fine. Like this could be the end of the season. So I'm like, well, they better do something awesome for the next 3 episodes because this was a pretty momentous sequence of events.
Well, this is supposed to get us right up to.
Yeah, no, I know.
So we've already passed Jyn Erso being born. So I think that when they say right up to the beginning of Rogue One, they mean like when maybe they're going to show her getting broke out or something. I don't know. I think it's when they first meet at the.
The next episodes will be exactly 1 year before Rogue One starts, right? Because it's 1 year from now, and it's 2 years till Rogue One.
Well, I don't know because they may change.
Make it last a whole year. Okay, well, all right. As you said.
I
don't know. Anyways, positive grade.
Yes.
Prediction,
B.
anything like that.
B. I'll give it a B. Because if episode 7 was better, I would have given it an 8. But oh well. Predictions. Well, I know we're seeing Saw Gerrera again. They showed previews of that. And the next ones are supposed to be 1 year BBY. I think it leads right up. These next 30 episodes are supposed to lead right up to Rogue One, basically. Definitely seeing Saw Gerrera. Maybe Willem goes back to him or something and dies there or something like that. Or maybe even Bix is with Saw Gerrera and dies there, whatever. I don't know. Because even though she left on the transport, where to? Where the hell did the transport go to? And we saw Cassian running after her, kind of, sort of.
Mhm.
Would they not know where those went? Would they not know where
that I was expecting them to say.
Wouldn't he have asked, hey,
that's what I was expecting. Yeah, where the hell did they go? And go right after her. That's what I was expecting.
I know. Yeah, that's what I thought. It was a little like out of character.
Like, okay.
You probably beat her there.
She's split, and you're like, okay, whatever. But so that's one prediction. Definitely seeing Saw Gerrera. Definitely seeing more stormtroopers and all that. I think we're even getting a cameo of Vader, probably. And I still think Luthen is either Uncle Harlow or Cyril's dad.
The other thing I assume in the next one they find out about the existence of the Death Star as it's in its entirety, and that's what motivates the Rogue One thing, right? To get the plans for it, because they need to find out how to destroy it.
Well, no, that happens during.
Yeah, that happens during Rogue One. Yeah, I don't know. See, what's going to happen in the next 3 episodes?
Well, I think
history.
Obviously, they'll get Jin's location sometime during these next, probably episode 9. Will be where they find out Jin's location. Okay, you go to what planet did they go to get her? I forget now.
Something Tatooine.
Eros. Wasn't it Eros?
Something.
Or was it Obi-Wan? Wobani? Was that it? Wobani? The Obi-Wan reverse kind of thing? Wobani? I think it is Wobani that they rescue her from. And then obviously they go to Jeddah. But so they'll go to Wobani and whatever else. Yeah. All right. But anyway, that's all.
Cool.
All right. Shifty, did you find your notes?
Oh, yeah. Bix, like I said, I don't think she's going to get killed because, she may get killed. I don't know. I think we're going to see Dedra. I think she's going to get, it's going to end with her looking at a window on the Death Star. That's what many people's predicting. She's going to get a job on the Death Star. And, you know what happens there. Andy Serkis is rumored to be cast this season, so I think we'll see him. Hopefully, I hope that was true. Like we got the Theed rumor. Hopefully that comes to fruition. Something maybe relating to Luthen's past. Let's see. The big thing I didn't mention in my dislikes. They had to cut an episode, the story, because and it was such a good one. The original plan was to have K2SO awake on the planet on Yavin and just tear shit up, just go crazy. He said it was almost like a horror story, and he had to cut it. Unfortunately, that would have been great. That would have been awesome. A horror story, like just like a Jason Voorhees type of deal going on. That would have been badass. Like Luthen, like I said, we're going to probably find out. We'll definitely find out what's going on there. I think we've seen the last of Cyril's mom. Grade, I would give it an A++, not a plus. Like it. No, I was giving out A+++ last season. This is just under +++.
And I told you last season that doesn't count. It's an A. Gotcha.
Well, Also, hey, did you know that they originally considered James Wan for K2SO, but they went with Alan Tudyk? Yeah, because Tudyk is better than Wan.
Sorry. Speaking of puns, does that old man get to be a serial killer? The one that shot Cyril?
Wow. My God. What have we done? God. What have we done?
He didn't play.
You gotta have
He didn't play the Boba Fett clip.
Yeah.
I did not.
We're okay.
That
We
was-
just got punted. We didn't get thrown into the Sarlacc pit.
It's true, I didn't. Austinator.
Predictions wise, I still don't give a shit.
Yep.
That's gonna be my predictions for every week.
Very good.
As far as grades go, I'd give it a B minus. It was
Wait. What?
Shocking.
Hallelujah. You've come back to us.
Man, that would have worked a lot better if you had that up on the screen a while ago.
I know, but he didn't know what I was doing it for, so
would give
I was only going to do it if he got a B.
B
He gave
minus.
a B. B minus is amazing. From Austinator, you know where he came from. You know where he's been. He's been on such a dark side path for so long. This is almost like Darth Vader coming back. Anyways, go ahead, Austinator. Go ahead.
I think he was done.
I'm just gonna give it a B minus because number one, I'm not fully I'm not coming back to the light, but I'm willing to be objective and say, look, this is probably the best the show has been ever. So I'm willing to compromise and say B minus. That being said, I still don't care. I probably will never care because I'm just dead inside now.
Too young to be dead inside.
We watch too much wrestling. We're pretty much dead inside.
Okay. All right. I will accept that.
Wrestling doesn't do that to you, does it?
Oh, yes, it does.
Because if you don't like the wrestling.
Is it that bad lately?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everything
Don't listen to our last show.
Everything Austinator used to live for is gone to the crapper. Is that what you're saying? Austinator, is that where it is in life now?
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what that's called, right? It's called being an adult.
No, I do not. I know, exactly.
Welcome to adulthood. You have now realized what your parents realized a long time ago. It's like, this is it. Everything I believed, everything I liked now is being shown to me in a different light. And now I realize I'm dead inside.
Wow. Okay. Sorry.
I mean,
maybe I'm still not an adult.
I mean, listen. Like I said, I'm not saying like I'm going back to Star Wars now because 2 episodes are good, but I'm always fair and objective on these shows. Like even if it's something I don't like I'll use like Loki for example. Like season 1, I did not. And I was like, man, season 2 is gonna suck. And then I watched season 2. Like, wow, it was actually pretty good. Like here, it started rough, and then these 2 episodes were pretty good.
Okay, hold on,
Is Austinator roboting or is it just me?
Yeah, no, he's roboting.
All right.
Okay.
I really need to get going.
All right. Well, he'll be back here in a second, but let me do this real quick. I give it an A, of course. Well, we know pretty much where we're gonna go. We're gonna get from here. We're getting to Rogue One somehow, some way.
Yeah.
I think Bix is probably dead. If they bring her back at all, or he's gonna like go and find her, and right when he finds her, dead. Probably, or they'll show her. Maybe they'll end episode 9 or episode 12 with her, like Shifty said, walking on to the construction site of the Death Star. And now you're like, oh crap. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Anyways, with that said, everybody, let's have you guys give your goodbyes. Dandelion.
It was lovely to be here. Thank you for having me, Chris.
Very good. Shifty.
Oh, hey, I'm Shifty. You can find me on X and find me on YouTube as Shiftygism. That's Shifty GISM. You can find me Thursday nights about 8:30 on Vinny Art and Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective for Collectibles Pass. We do a toy show on there. We talk toys about 3 hours. Good stuff, all the way from the 60s all the way up to modern day toys. A lot of recaps of stuff. Tommy just did about an hour long recap on the history of Transformers this past week. It was great. Also, on Friday nights about 8:30 ish or 8 o'clock, whenever Austin starts to stream, actually, it's the good old wrestling. It's Austin, me, and Rums, and we discuss the boring current state of professional wrestling.
Very good. All right. Austinator, any last words to say, though, that you want to say, that you were trying to say before? Maybe not. Maybe he's stuck. Positive.
Yes. Yeah, just looking forward to these last 3 episodes of Andor. That's about it.
Okay. Austinator, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead and finish it, trying to say what you were saying, because you were roboting for a lot of it. You said it was like season 2. You like season 2 of Loki.
Yeah, like season 2 of Loki, I'm subjective. If it's something that's good, I will give it props. If it's bad, it's bad. Like, I'm at least honest. That's the one thing you always get from me, is I'm brutally honest when...
That's why I have you here.
And I appreciate it.
All right, so tell everybody about yourself and where they can find you.
Yep, my internet's in shambles, so I'm just going to be very quick. Check out my channel, Wrestling Show on Fridays. Check me out on Storms Nation every other Sunday. Check me out here on Chaos Central for the Roundtable and various other things. And you can find me on the Basco Scenario on the Hangout. Chris, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Very good. I am Chris Knight. This has been the Chaos Central's Andor Roundtable for Season 2. You can find me on my channel, which is The Real Review 3000. We're going to be getting back to Name That Tune on Honstar YT's channel. And we're going to get back to the Rumble and our weekly wrap-ups. That should be starting next week. Actually, weekly wrap-ups should be. So we'll be getting back. I've got access to the first
Can we start
7.
the weekly wrap-up the week after? Because I will not be able to do this.
Oh, yeah.
And a gaming stream on the same day.
If we do it, I will give you a pass on the first week.
Okay. Or I'll come for like a few minutes, like 1 or 2 rounds.
I don't know yet. I have access back to 7 of the Jackbox games, but I might have Deej run some of those. I don't know yet. I gotta get with him, but I can do all of it by myself again if I need to. So we can do that. And of course, everybody here is invited to do that as usual. But I will have more of that information out here soon. But thank you guys, everybody who was in the chat. Thank you very much for being here. Yeah, let's just see what happens with Chapter 4 of Andor. Next week we'll talk about that. Thank you very much, everybody. So, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.